Hello and welcome to Master Edison Format. Today we have another high-rated replay from basically two good players, 7 Saints, Dragon Slayer, and 6 Sniper, 1100 rated. These are probably among the, among probably the top, especially 6 Sniper, probably in the top 100 Edison players. And yeah, so we have a game between Machina Control, which is what 6 Sniper is playing, and Brent. We're going to show both hands just so we get more information. Here we have, two interesting stars. Here you always wonder if you should start with the goals. You have 3 gear frame. I think you need to summon one of them because like just sitting on this goals, you need your normal summons this game. So I agree with this choice. Here on the other side, drawing Entertainer is not always great. You know, Drone Fire is good. I'm sure he's playing more than one, so I don't think it's a big problem. So here he starts already with a Fortress. Does the gear frame a quick play. This is not terrible, unless you're playing into basically this, because in this case then I guess like it's better than just you take less damage. It's not the end of the world, but you know, into like something like a Deep Prison, this is not great. But anyway, so he goes into Long Fire into the Entertainer. He has in the armor he has Regeki Prison set. And now, here again, you have a choice. You have a kind of a slow hand in the sense that like the goals doesn't do a ton now. The gear frame can get you basically more Fortress, but you still, basically the only way you have to out this is by attacking with Fortress, which, you know, doesn't feel great. So he decides to go for the Ham. So the Raikou is a cleaner answer to this, and also the Mirror Force is a pretty clean answer. And yeah, I was actually spectating this game live while it was happening. So yeah, I've created kind of a second account to be able to spectate games, or I'm also playing other games. So yeah, here he Raigekis in the end phase, which doesn't feel great because that Mirror Force was a great out to the Entertainer here. So it doesn't feel great, but anyway, draws Trooper. Here he has kind of a decision. Does he go for the Armory? Does he go for Long Fire? It looks like he's going for the Long Fire. He's probably either going to get another Entertainer or Amaryllis if he's not playing 3. But or could be also Dandy, because that way the Entertainer can negate. Let's see. Goes for Dandy. Yeah, that makes sense as well. That way you have tokens that the Entertainer can basically keep negating without sacrificing itself. And I guess with the Machina, I think you have to use it anyway. So you negate, and now you kind of leave this hamster here. And very well played, I have to say, because like I guess like it's correct to read into a Raikou. Like the Machina Control, like they play Kaios, they play Raikou. There's actually not that many clean outs to this, and by clean I mean outs that basically just 1-for-1 trade with this, because especially with tokens, yeah, like the Raikou targets, the Fortress targets, everything basically targets here, except for the Mirror Force, which was gonna be a good out, basically one of the only outs I think you have in this deck. Anyway, so here he goes for Hamster into Raikou. Yeah, he says he would have attacked with Dandy. I think it's correct not to attack there. Like, yes, you could, but I don't think it makes a ton of sense. Here he charges, mirrors 2 Amaryllis, which doesn't feel great, and gets to add another Raikou. Yeah, kind of like decent hand, but against the Entertainer specifically, you don't have a lot of things you can do. Now you have to attack, and now this is not gonna feel great, because like, yeah, you clear the tokens, and now you try to go for the Fortress, but yeah, this is kind of like plays into that, but at least you did clear the token, so this Entertainer could now actually do something. Now you have double hidden armory. I think, I don't know if you want to go for a Trooper here. Like, Trooper is actually quite good here because it attacks over everything. And of course, if you hit the Amaryllis, then yeah, this. I mean, then if he knew he was going to hit the Amaryllis, then that would. I mean, that makes even more sense. To be fair, he would have hit the Amaryllis anyway with the hidden armory. So, yeah. So anyway, this now can negate. So, pretty good hit. Very good hit with the Trooper, and now the Entertainer can negate tributing the Amaryllis. He has a gear frame, adds another force. He's playing multiple forces, which I guess, yeah, in the Machina Control you see it. You don't really see this in other like Machina decks, like in the gadgets you only play one usually. And yeah, but here well played. Like he clears the Amaryllis, decides not to. I guess, yeah, you don't want to attack the Entertainer. You want to hit it with the Raikou. So yeah, the Titania finally negates, and he was able to get rid of it after a while. But yeah, he thinks about equipping, decides not. So yeah, decides not. I don't think you want to equip. Firstly, because he needs to have, like, if he has heavy storm or something like that, like, you know, it's not great. If he has a monster that can attack over, then you don't feel great. But like, I guess like the only thing that would make sense, I don't know if that would protect from the Brecros or something. I don't think it would, because they all would get destroyed at the same time. So yeah, I don't think it makes a ton of sense to equip. Here you have, I mean, you do, I guess, yeah, he does have the DDR. This gets bottomless. In an armory, it gets the DDR back again, and yeah, he gets to basically out both the gear frame and the fortress, and yeah, he will get to out the fortress. This Titania, this Amaryllis is gonna get annoying. Torrential is also great out. Here attacks. I guess like he forces him to tribute. I guess if he would have targeted Titania, he would have had to tribute, so it wouldn't have been so bad. But anyway, yeah, he's still stuck into Amaryllis. It summons the ghost, which is not something you see all the time. Summoning a ghost of damage, not of effect damage, rather than the attack damage. So, but still, it's not enough. He's very long life. So anyway, here you have another start. You have Torrential. He sided in the Iron Walls, which is not something that you see in every deck, but in this deck I think works quite well, because yeah, this basically plays around bottomless. Actually, I guess it's not really bottomless, just doesn't banish. Plays around the Deep Prison for sure. Yeah, sets 2. It's always scary saying 2 into a potential heavy, but you know, it's at 1 at the end of the day. Not everybody's gonna be so lucky to have heavy. So here he starts with the Raikou. They're both playing Raikou, which is interesting. Kind of a slower hand, but if this Raikou mills a Dandy, then it can be fireworks. I mean, he has Foolish for Dandy, so he decides to play it slow. Fossil Dyna, not great into the Raikou. I think he's expecting a Dandy. Into the Dandy would be great, but I think he's thinking about what to hit with the Raikou, but I think the correct place to hit the Dyna. Yeah, you don't really want to leave that on the field to hurt you in the future. So yeah, I also like holding the Foolish Bearer. You don't want to send Amaryllis, you want to draw it for the trade-in, and that's kind of the type of hands with this deck you get, is like a double trade-in hands with no Amaryllis, no Titania. Like basically you do get some kind of bricky hands sometimes. Goes for DDR. This is going to be quite strong in the future if basically this gets banished for Mark of the Rose. The DDR can bring it back. Goes into a Fortress. I don't know if you're doing this play. Like, I don't know if I love this. I would almost think like this Iron War. You want to. I don't know if you. I think it removes as cost, or actually I'm not sure if it removes a cost, the Mark of the Rose. But sometimes the Iron War you want to do it before so they can pay the cost. But we'll see. So goes for Dandy. Nice play now with the debris. The debris works. Like, yeah, there's Torrential here, but like you don't have to Torrential your own card. So yeah, with the Torrential you clear everything, but you lose your Fortress. And yeah, you just pass it. Very, I mean, I guess very patient play by him. He has another debris, so he doesn't really need to do anything. Again, going for Fortress, breaks better, attacks both tokens. I mean, very reasonable. But again, here you're gonna get in trouble with a potential Brecro spray, because yeah. Yeah, so here he goes into this, but like I mean, it's not just Brain Control. He has Mark of the Rose, so like he has to really think about. I don't love making this here simply because yeah, with the Mark of the Rose, this can hit you for 3,100, and then can also basically take a card from your hand. Like, yeah, this would feel terrible. So he thinks here, which yeah, he decides. He basically trades 2 cards to make this, and like he decides to discard a card from hand. Okay, so he basically discarded the trade-in, which doesn't feel horrible, but at least he had enough monsters to Amaryllis now, and he doesn't have to put back the Prigs better. So gets to draw 2 cards, which is, I think it's correct. At that point, once you make it, there are just too many ways to make to basically punish you here. The Dashwood is a great I mean, yeah, he had the Mark of the Rose. Against brands, generally, you don't want to leave anything on the field that's going to be quite scary if they take it, like, unless you really have to. Like, it is extremely dangerous because they have 3 Mark of the Rose, they have Brain Control. I mean, there are other ways to take it. You're not just playing around one card. Like, Brain Control being at 1, like, you're not going to always play around it, but yeah. The Gear Frame would be good, except he shuffled back the Fortress, so goes for Foster Dyna. Yeah, puts him down to 12. Like, this Foster Dyna could get annoying because, yeah, so it goes for Iron War. I like it here. Yeah, so exactly, that's what I was saying. It banishes for cost, so he has to do it before, otherwise he could take this. Yeah, here goes for Gift. I mean, here now he has kind of a lot going, no banishes, no special summons, and like he's starting to be down. The only problem is, of course, he knows the hand. Like, this is most likely the Breed Dragon, so this is gonna hold the field. And yeah, you do have Brain Control for that, but still doesn't feel great. And with Brain, it wouldn't be game anyway. So it takes it with the Brain Control, puts it to attack. Now he can do some damage, or he can tribute into the Fortress to go for game. I believe it's exactly 43. Yeah. Yeah, it decides to play safe, which I don't disagree with necessarily. Of course, like, you know the hand, like, so you know that the basically at least 3 out of 5 cards in the hand. So yeah, but I guess it's correct to play safe because you don't want to trigger the Fossil Dyna. Like, it feels really bad if you don't win the game there. So I think playing safe is correct, and so yeah, it's 1-1. A lot of times you do find yourself in those situations if you can play around goals, and know that, like, even like, you don't want to give your opponents extra draws, but a lot of times it's much worse if you get basically if you get hit with the Battle Fader or goals or anything that you, not to say that this like necessarily plays Fader, but the punish is much worse than like the punish if you let your opponent draw an extra card, because oftentimes they still have to out your board, and if they haven't, since they're basically top decking, their top deck needs to be something very good. Here you have a decent start, like mirroring, charge mirroring, no Dandy, unfortunately, and no Amaryllis, which, you know, it's not great. This Hamster is great against Lyra here, and yeah, you have this is pretty good. You have also the Caius to back it up. I mean, this is just very good. Like, this Raikou is exceptional against this Deep Prison. It looks quite good for the 6 Sniper, and you see that even going second, you get a lot of information. So you get a good amount of information, so you do have some advantage going second. Like, you get to see how your opponent plays and react to it. Of course, going first is better, no question about it, but yeah, you do get some small advantages going second. So here, Hidden Armory sets the Raigeki break. Yeah, here you might want to Raigeki in Senbei phase. You don't want them to hit Deep Prison. Yeah, like, just doesn't feel great. Yeah, decides to Raigeki in the standby phase. Yeah, you don't want him to start mirroring, popping. Having said that, Raigeki is one of the cleaner outs to Fortress too, so, and it's an out to Foster Dyna, so, you know, either way, it's kind of like a rock and a hard place. Alright, going for the Caius here. I don't know if, I guess, yeah, here's correct in this situation to banish the Deep Prison. In this situation, I usually go for the monster, because like this could have easily been a bottomless. I'm not sure if this deck always plays bottomless, but like this could have easily been something else. But I guess, yeah, if you're going for a push, this makes sense. Like, if you're going for the Fortress, this makes a ton of sense. So here attacks, basically, I mean, doesn't really need to play around on it, but like basically does it anyway, by attacking with the Fortress. Here DDR, like, kind of a breaking hand. You have Mirror Force, you have War of Thorns. Yeah, this is kind of like a Mirror Force, but like yeah, basically this is another Mirror Force. Interesting. Don't really see this card played often, especially because you don't always have Brent. And also, like, it's kind of the same as the Mirror Force. Like, if they put it in defense, they play around it. So this pops just the Caius. So it's kind of like a Mirror Force basically at this point. He decides about Compulsory, which, I mean, this a little bit, you know, telegraphs it, but I think you're very happy with it played if you're at 6 Sniper. Like, the Caius is gonna come back and hit something good, so draws my body. That's why I don't draw my body in the side, just because like it's kind of awkward. Again, plays around the mirror force again, which, I mean, that's a very, very good play, because I mean, how many players after seeing one basically mirror force would play around the second one? You know, it's not that many in my opinion, and basically does it very, very well. Draws trade in, which is basically probably one of the best draws you could have had to try to draw something better. Lyra plus Fertilizer is also quite good, but you do have the My Body here to help you. But decides to go for the Lyra first. Well, of course, yeah, you need to attack the Dyna. Here, yeah, doesn't use Torrenture. It's not great, simply because, yeah, now she can pop, no, the Lyra can pop it and mirror in the end phase. And mirrors double Amaryllis, which, yeah, I've been there. I've been there before for sure. Double Amaryllis does hurt, especially because, like, slowly but surely this is gonna start being a ton of damage. Yeah, now you also, the Amaryllis sets up the DDR. Like, this is just not, you know, not really the situation you want to be in. But anyway, yeah, like Kaios can banish one of them, but there's another one coming, and the DDR will basically negate. I mean, this plant deck is quite annoying to play against in some situations. He drew Amaryllis though, so Amaryllis can help him get back into it. Like, Amaryllis is probably one of the best draws in this situation too. Gets to draw 2 new cards. Gear Frame is alright, like you can go into another Fortress. Compulsory is decent, quite decent. Yeah, goes into a Force. I guess like sets up for a potential. Well, basically he might need this next turn. He decides not to kill the Lyra, which is interesting, but I guess like it's harmless right now in defense position. Goes for the, puts them Amaryllis in attack, goes for Miracle Fertilizer, gets the tenure back. Don't love to see that. The tenure attacks the Fortress, takes the damage, Gear Frame protects. And, well, didn't take a ton of damage there, actually. The Lyra mirrors and the Amaryllis can come back again, unless there's no targets, which, yeah, it looks like there's not. So, yeah, I guess like that's a little bit like the, you know, I guess the safety of it is no targets. Now here, unfortunately, this Fertilizer can be used once per turn, so you kind of want to figure out a way to get rid of this. You also have to play around Argeki, you have to play around My Body. Like, I mean, it's not an easy situation to get out of. Gear Frame has another Force, which I guess you're really counting on this Fortress dying soon, so yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Gets to attack over both, which is good. There's no plants in the graveyard except for the other Amaryllis, and you do have the Iron Wall to protect it. So basically, yeah, decides to let this happen. Doesn't like Geki, which, I mean, he does have the Force to bring it back anyway, so. Decides not to equip the Gear Frame either, which I feel like you might have wanted to do. Composes this, which then, yeah, basically the Fertilizer gets killed. Yeah, correct play. Goes for Iron Wall, which, again, correct, except that unfortunately he already has the DDR. Can pitch the Dandy too, which just feels terrible. Yeah, now again, you have to out this Titania somehow. Attacks the Fortress. I don't know if I love this attack, simply because the Gear Frame, like, could have equipped, like, this Fortress needs what, you know about double Force in hand. Like, this Fortress needs to be killed anyway for this to even do anything, so, yeah, I don't know if I love this play. But I do like this, attacking, he's gonna have to, like, Geki here, or My Body. Yeah, he's thinking about it, thinking if he should do something, but I think, yeah, you want to, like, get rid of this Titania. And at least you kind of are keeping this on the field. He knows about the Kaios and he knows about the Force, the Machina Fortress. I think in this situation, Titania should have attacked the Gear Frame anyway, but anyway, yeah. So here he attacks, does the damage. Now there's this hamster set, which, I mean, My Body is not a great card always, but in this situation, it's the type of card that can catch somebody off guard. I mean, yeah, like it's a type of card, again, against the Kairos doesn't really do anything, but against like the Fortress, it can really be strong because he's really not expecting it. So now he's gonna do this again, and interesting that he lets this happen. Why would... oh, I guess you can't use this in damage step, my bad. So yeah, he I guess it's useless in this situation. So this happens, and now you're back to... basically, he played around with the Iron Wall, basically hit, negates his Amaryllis, which would have come back. The Kairos can't ban because of the Iron Wall, but it can be summoned, so Arrow build a number, but doesn't really matter a ton. Here he adds... the only thing he can add is the Mark of the Rose, but nothing he can do there. Yeah, good game. I mean, it was very grindy game. Took a while. Like, he was down to 4 cards in deck. Of course, milled a lot, but this is a very annoying deck to play against if you don't have the Iron Walls. And I mean, I almost never side this in my side deck. I guess it's an underrated card. Yeah, like not everybody sides this in, but I think with this deck it works quite well because a lot of the removal you're most afraid of is the bottomlesses and the prisons and all stuff that basically removes your fortress from play. So in this deck I like it a lot. It doesn't like work so well with the Kairos, but it's just a small number. And I mean, you also have bottomless of your own, but yeah, in this situation the Iron Wall definitely helped because like yes, he might have died to the Amaryllis, especially with 2 of them in the grave coming back each turn 1600, like basically he was dead in 3 turns. So I think well played by him, well played by Six Sniper, well played by both players. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to get better at Edison Format, and I'll catch you in the next one.